Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So I wanted to focus on Pamela Milton and the Milton family and a lot of the setup that we got in episode 7. Like, obviously we don't see Pamela Milton, we don't see the Milton family, but there's a lot of setup here with the story, and mostly it's related to Yumiko's storyline, but there's a lot of connections here. There's a lot of little teases here that show that the Milton family will be making an appearance soon. We are going to see Pamela Milton. We're going to meet Sebastian as well. And so the debate, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video, is when are we going to meet these characters? I mean, are we going to see Sebastian in episode 7? For the last however many weeks, that's basically what we all thought, right? Like episode 7, probably around there, since it's like the last big Commonwealth episode, because episode 8 is focusing on wrapping up the Reaper's arc and then also dealing with a huge Alexandria Walker fight, right? There's going to be a big storm there as well. And so, like, when are we going to be dealing with the Commonwealth storyline? Obviously, episode 7. And so this episode has to get into some pretty big stuff here. So obviously, before we go any further, if you are new here, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want more Walking Dead content like this. Also, this will contain spoilers for episode 6. Also, if you haven't checked it out yet, I posted a trailer breakdown of Halloween Kills. Honestly, that movie I am so excited for. I was gonna watch it no matter what, but like, if you haven't watched the final trailer yet, you definitely have to. There's a few spoilers in there. It definitely, like, there was a few things that they gave away that I was like kind of hoping to see just when I watched the movie. But I mean, if they're revealing that, that's totally fine. Honestly, I'm so excited for this movie. When I saw those certain certain surprises, I was actually pretty blown away. I can't believe how many nods they're doing to the original movie. But anyways, yeah, that video is just on the channel here. But let's get into the episode 7 trailer, and that's mostly what I want to focus on here, because the trailer does tease a lot of the Milton family connection here. There's a lot of stuff here with Yumiko. Like, there's a shot of Yumiko. She's all dressed up for this meeting, because if you remember in episode 5, like, she got her job assignment, and everyone else had jobs. Yumiko didn't. She had a meeting with someone higher up. And so that meeting, obviously, we see this shot right here of Yumiko and Tommy. They're in the train station, it looks like here, because the train station has those same benches. And also inside the train station is a legal department. So it makes sense, right? Like, Yumiko was a lawyer. It makes sense. She's probably just waiting here. Tommy does get arrested, it looks like, from the Commonwealth. And what this is actually related to, at least I'm predicting anyways, is that Tommy lied about being a baker and he didn't confess about being a surgeon, right? He's been there for like 10 years now. Never once brought up the fact that he was a surgeon, a thoracic surgeon. Yumiko, if you remember, during her interview with the auditors of the Commonwealth, gave away that her brother was a thoracic surgeon. As soon as they met, as soon as they saw both of them meet and that they were brother and sister, that just confirmed to them right there that Tommy, he's actually a surgeon, but he's not owning up to that. He's just saying that he's a baker. He wants to have this simple life, and this is key. This storyline here is very key to Pamela Milton's introduction, because there's going to be a lot of conflict here, obviously. Tommy is most likely going to lose his baking shop because of this, right? He's going to be forced to do or become a surgeon, and it's all because Yumiko said that. But also, it's not her fault, because she had no idea that he was pretending to be a baker, right? Like she had no clue that whole thing was going on. So Tommy will likely be arrested, and this is going to coincide at the same time as Yumiko's interview. And then I imagine there's going to be some conflict here where Yumiko's going to want to speak to the higher ups. And so that's where we're going to start to meet Pamela Milton and some of the, I guess, her inner circle, right? Like, there's a chance we could meet Maxwell Hawkins. Maxwell Hawkins is an interesting character because he's portrayed as being a really big character, but he's actually not really at all. I have a feeling that they might have just introduced his story, or not introduced, but combined his story with Lance Hornsby, because Maxwell Hawkins is an assistant to Pamela Milton. And that's kind of what Lance Hornsby is doing, right? I mean, it's possible that they do introduce that aspect to it, so you do have that other character there. It's very possible that we could meet him very soon, that he's the person, he's the assistant to Pamela Milton. He's the one that's going to be interviewing Yumiko here. So I think it's very possible. And there's also the whole aspect to, like, first of all, why do you need a lawyer? That makes no sense. Like, is there actual law here? Are the laws that strict? And, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's it's a little silly. And so I wonder if Yumiko is going to be Pamela Milton's lawyer, because obviously politicians have a shit ton of lawyers, right? And so if Yumiko is one of the best, obviously she's going to want her, right? And so like this is where we're going to start to meet the character. And so all this right here that we see in this episode is set up. Tommy's story right here, the lie he told to the Commonwealth about being a baker beforehand, that's actually going to be our segue into the Pamela Milton story, into meeting that character, which is going to be very exciting. And there's also the whole thing with Sebastian Milton as well. And I mean, Sebastian Milton, I think we're going to meet separately. It is possible that maybe he's like in the room or something like that. And remember, Angela Kang said that we are going to meet Sebastian before Pamela. So it's possible that maybe he's just kind of hanging around. We see him run by or something like that, right? Or it's very possible that maybe he's actually with the group. And this is sort of a theory I've had for a very long time now. But when we see Eugene and Ezekiel out there working and having to pay their fines, they're obviously killing a bunch of walkers. They're on like walker duty or whatever you would call it. I know based off some of the leaks anyways, or at least some of the rumors that happened like months and months ago. I mean, it was a long time ago. I believe the fake Stephanie is actually here as well. There's also another character, there's a newer character, and so I wonder how she's going to play a role into all of this. But it seems like there's a lot of other people paying their fines as well, and it's possible that Sebastian Milton is a part of that, right? He probably did something a lot worse and he's getting off easy, but like I think it makes sense to introduce this kid. He's a troubled kid, you know, have him here. I think that would be really cool if maybe there's a foreshadowing here, like he does something to Ezekiel, because remember, in the comics, Sebastian Milton does kill Rick Grimes at the very end, and you need someone with a great leadership quality to take that storyline. And for me, I really believe it's going to be Ezekiel. And so they could start something here. Like they could start this relationship here, right? We can see that it's going to start off really bad. We're going to have something here between Ezekiel and Sebastian. I mean, Sebastian's there already. So I think it's smart. I think it would be cool to introduce something like that right away. And I mean, if you just think of the Pamela Milton photo, the set photo that we got, like it looks like she's giving some type of speech, right? Some type of, maybe it's a part of a political campaign or something like that, but she's giving a speech. It could, like, when are we going to see this? It is possible that we could see it in episode 7, but I just don't think I don't think this is the first time we're going to see her. I don't think it's happening in episode 7 because we still have to meet Sebastian. Like, as soon as we meet Sebastian, once we see him, I mean, at that point, it's really at like any time now. But yeah, overall, I mean, I'm really excited to meet Pamela Milton. I will say that Lance Hornsby is probably going to be one of my favorite characters out of this arc. Like, honestly, a lot of them are going to be. I was expecting Mercer to be my number one favorite, but I'm already loving Lance Hornsby. And yeah, he's a little bit creepy, but that's kind of by design, right? I just like the fact that the character is like that we have a character like that on the show. You have this whole, just like, he's a fixer for Pamela Milton, right? For the government. And you have a whole different vibe, a whole different story. And like, I'm not entirely sure how to word it, but it's something that we've never really had on the show. We've never had a character like Lance Hornsby. And so that's why I'm excited to see more from him, right? Like, we've had characters like Pamela Milton, not really like Sebastian, I guess. He could be a lot of fun to watch. But we've also had characters like Mercer as well, right? We've had leaders and generals and stuff like that, and they could be likable or not likable. We've never had like a fixer like that. There was never really someone like Lance Hornsby, where he's like this politician guy, right? He's this government guy. Like, we've had some people be like assistants or generals to villains, like if there was Dwight or Simon, but they all kind of like, they just listened to Negan. They weren't like bending rules or breaking rules to do certain things, and not in this formal official way where it's like, it's not so abrupt, right? Like, you could argue Simon probably broke the rules for Negan all the time, right? Like, if Negan wanted something, Simon was going to go somewhere and like scare this person to, you know, I'm sure that happened all the time, but it's a little different there because obviously that's the apocalypse, and it's more of a sort of a, it's more of a hierarchy of power in that sense, in the, I guess, a much more grounded apocalypse sense. But for the Commonwealth, it's very different because it's very civil. It's very, you know, this guy's two-faced. You have a commercial where he's like smiling, like he puts on this smile, this whole act, and, you know, everyone thinks he's a good guy and stuff, but behind closed doors, he's not. He's making these deals like this. You know, he's a shady guy. So I really like this character. I can't wait to meet more from him. I do think that he's going to be one of the most fascinating characters in this arc. But again, like, I can say that about any of the characters. Like, Angela Kang knows how to introduce characters. Like, think about the 3 characters that we have so far. Like, the 3 newly introduced characters. We have Princess, Mercer, and Lance Hornsby, right? All three of them are pretty likable right now. And even Stephanie, it's a fake Stephanie, but she seems likable. Even the real Stephanie, she also as well seems very likable. So the characters on here, like, honestly, that's why I can't wait to meet Sebastian Milton as well as Pamela Milton, because I think they're going to be very likable because they seem to know how to handle that. I will say it is a little weird that they won't announce Sebastian Milton's casting. I find that weird. Like, why not announce the casting for the character, right? Anyways, post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.